hosts various shows on Pelican Sports Network in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. And he's a sports talk host on WUBR 910 AM in Baton Rouge, and also writes for SportsNola.com. LSU will face Iowa on New Year's Day in the Outback Bowl in Tampa. Say a few words about the Tigers. Please welcome Tommy Krysan. Tommy?
Thank you, Ken. I enjoy getting out of Baton Rouge every now and then, coming back to my hometown of New Orleans. No doubt about that. It's great to be in a room with a bunch of great coaches. But you can come to lunch with me any day in Baton Rouge and you can find a couple of hundred coaches wherever we go. There's a lot of people up there. It's amazing. The fans, I do a post-game show. It's one of the shows I do after LSU football. And obviously there were 3 very interesting shows. It's amazing that I think the fans somehow forget the good stuff. It's been since 1999, the last time LSU did not go to a bowl game. 1999. Since 2003, nobody in the SEC has more wins than LSU. Nobody. In the last 5 years, home games, both conference and non-conference, LSU has more wins than anybody in the SEC. People tend to forget that. That national championship that Coach Miles won, it's been a few years ago now, but they forget that. And as these coaches will tell you how hard it is to get to the Superdome, they can tell you how hard it is to win the SEC West, which is arguably the best division in college football, or to win the SEC championship. Kind of like Coach Salt said, it just doesn't stop. It gets tough. And the SEC is probably going to win their 8th straight national championship, because I don't know how Florida State's going to stop that running game. That's amazing to me. But anyway, Coach Miles is in his 9th year, and I've been in Baton Rouge for 20 years, and I still haven't figured him out. I don't know what he's going to say next, or what he's not. But I can tell you this, one-on-one, he's a whole different person. I've sat in his office many a time to tape interviews, the good stuff before and after the camera rolls. It's pretty good, it's pretty interesting. And here's another thing about Coach Miles that I can say, having been in Baton Rouge since the days of Curly Holman. Every coach from Curly Holman forward through Saban, I could go in a locker room and find guys that didn't like him. Don't like the guy. Gonna play hard, but I don't like the guy. 9 years in Baton Rouge, I've never had a player tell me they didn't like Coach Les Miles. The players love him, they'll go through the wall for him. It's something he does when he's recruiting. Of course, it didn't work for the kid at Neville, because him and Saban were in that house the same day before that kid committed. But I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And I think LSU fans just need to sometimes step back and realize it's tough. Because if you think back 7, 8 years ago, Urban Meyer was at Florida, taking care of everybody. Spurrier was there before that. Urban Meyer, Mac Brown was at Texas. Pete Carroll was at Southern Cal. They were on the top of the world. Not no more. Now there's a lot of questions, and I wrote about this in Sports Nola before they played the Alabama game, whether that was a crossroads for LSU. Whether they would, if they could win that game, they stay going upward and forward, or if they lose that game, would it send them downward? And I really believe that to be the case. And the jury's still out on it a little bit. You know, Arkansas is a bad football team, but good teams find a way to win, bad teams find a way to lose, and LSU found a way to win that game. And I'll tell you this about Anthony Jennings. Everybody talks about he can run, and he can. But what you don't know is he's got a big arm. At the Elite 11 regional quarterback camp in Atlanta, he was rated the top quarterback when he went there after his senior year in high school. And then he went to the National Elite 11 in LA, and he won a couple of the competitions. He didn't end up being the top rated guy. So I think it's invaluable, the 15 practices that he's going to get leading up to the Outback Bowl, and the experience and the confidence that he gained on that 99-yard drive against Arkansas. You can't measure it. Not only the confidence he gained, but the confidence his teammates gained in him, coaching staff gained in him, and to me, one of the most dangerous things in sports is confidence. If you got confidence, you got a shot. And I firmly believe that. And the other thing, people say what happened to LSU on the defense this year. There was a lot of young guys. The year before, Kevin Minter made 130 tackles. You don't just replace that. You don't just replace that. And, you know, we had to do these post-game shows, and they want to get rid of John Chavis. That guy's as good as it gets. And as these coaches will tell you, and I'm going to remind these coaches, because I've heard it 50 years or so have they, but one of the most important things is it's not what the coach knows that matters, it's what the players know. That's what's important. Well, you had players out there at LSU that didn't know as much as the players the year before. And we kind of got hoodwinked against Florida, thinking maybe the defense turned the corner. Turned out Florida wasn't what everybody thought they were. So anyway, LSU, I think the program's in really good shape. I don't know if they're going to sell 12,000 tickets at Outback Bowl. That remains to be seen. I don't think they will, but I think they've been better off selling tickets in the Cotton Bowl because they have a lot of alumni in the greater Dallas area. And then one last thing before I take some questions. And Coach Saul brought it up today, but like many of the guys, I do the picks on sportsnola.com for high school football. And everybody kept asking me, you're picking East Jefferson every week, and you're picking Covenant High every week. I said, well, one was my best friend in high school. We graduated from Holy Cross together. And the other, the head coach at Covenant, is my nephew. So I had my reasons for picking them, both of them. But I did believe in both of them, and I still do. Anybody got any questions about LSU football?
You kind of touched on recruiting. So the last couple of years, LSU hasn't been that successful in North Louisiana when it comes to premier players up there. Do you have a reason? Do you have an opinion as to why that is?
I don't think that, all that stuff goes in cycles. I mean, I can remember when they said they couldn't get a kid out of New Orleans. They had a little drought where they got 1 or 2 kids in a 4 or 5 year period. And I think that stuff cycles around a little bit. I don't think a certain area is why a kid doesn't come to a school or not. I really don't. I mean, you know, 5 years from now they may get the kids from up there and somebody else won't. And the other thing LSU fans miss is, you know, when a kid decides to leave Louisiana, they don't realize some of LSU's best football players didn't come from Louisiana. LSU went and got them from somewhere else and brought them in. It's not unique to LSU. It's part of the landscape. And, you know, recruiting, I do a daily radio show in Baton Rouge. We don't even talk about recruiting. I go to signing day and we do a show from there just to shake hands. But it's an unknown. A true recruiting evaluation, as we all know, comes 3 or 4 years after the kid's out of high school. Then I can tell you who had the best class. I don't have to guess when they on paper. Anybody else? Thank you. I always love being in the world.